So I've concluded I suck at making content as much as I want to be good at it. Um, so I'm just gonna start making it and let myself screw up and see what I hate about it. We're gonna do this over and over and over, and you guys are gonna get to watch if you'd like. But this is more for me and my frustration at this point. And to help me get over the freaking shame that I feel about screwing up a lot. Like I still feel anxious right now, like my chest feels tight and whatever. I'm reading this book called Subtle Art of Not Giving Up. And it is pretty real. I mean, it's like stuff that feels so obvious, but then in the moment, like how do you do it? Like just kind of pointing out how counterintuitive it is to care too much about something. Like one of the lines that I really liked, I ended up tweeting this actually. It was like, giving a crap is good for business. Giving too many craps is bad for your mental health, which is true. And like an hour ago, I just got fired from a job because at first I was doing great. I learned really quickly, like I was chill, I had a flow going, and then I put like pressure on myself to I don't know. I don't even know to perform well, to do even better, to be perfect, right? And um so like the manager kind of pointed out some stuff about how like I put myself down when I like screw things up. And that really surprised me because I don't even catch that I do that. It's like so second nature. Um and I don't really know where it came from. Like I used to think that like it came from my brothers because just the way that he's very like rhetorically like, oh, like, are you stupid? And then, but like the whole point, like, and he's explained this to me so many times, but in the moment it doesn't feel this way, is that it's like he's asking that in like a hey, like, you're not stupid, stop acting like it, you know, type of thing. And, but so like I kind of, it morphed in my brain somehow into if you screw up, you are stupid, you know? And a lot of, like I said, shame around that, like constantly feeling like, oh, like you're dumb and stuff, like that adds up. And it creates a very crushing feeling, it creates a lot of anxiety. And so that anxiety while I was at work would show up as rushing so much to get something done like quickly that I then would like miss something, do something sloppy, like drop something, whatever. And then it perpetuates this cycle of like if I screw it up, then I put myself down, and then the more that I put myself down, the more I get anxious about messing up, so then the more I rush to try and get it done quickly and, whatever, not cause a problem, not be an inconvenience. And yeah. So that sucks. And I'm kind of dealing with this right now because this is like a cycle I've had in my life for a really long time. I'm trying to understand. I'm turning my light on. I'm trying to understand what I can. I don't know. Maybe not trying to understand because I don't think that that's going to help. Like, just if I haven't figured it out by now, clearly it's something a little bit chunkier than just spend a day and figure it out. Like it's going to be something I have to pay attention to, and it's going to suck a lot more times over and over and over again of me being terrible at it. But it's just interesting to talk about because I am noticing this pattern a lot more. Like, it's always been there, but I'm realizing how all encompassing it has been and is. Um, I mean, she just made like a list of like things that like I did wrong and that she was like concerned about. And it was really helpful because so much of it I just like was like blind to, or like blind to how big of an issue it is. And it sucks because hearing that all like so bluntly written out, and like she was like saying like multiple people had come to her with stuff. So that really is, yeah. But yeah, like I guess some people took stuff that I was saying as rude when I didn't mean it in a rude way whatsoever. And like she was like, "Yeah, you could like ask for things a little bit nicer, like for help with things." And that really surprised me because anytime I ever ask for help with anything, like I'm like I appreciate you, like if you need anything let me know, like you know, like super appreciative, super thankful, super like showing gratitude. So the fact that like people took it as me being rude or like putting them down was like really surprising for me. And like my brother pointed out one, like we were leaving one day and I was like, "Oh, like there's fruit cups that need to be done." Like, and I was going to say that like I forgot to do them, but he cut me off, and then so I didn't, and like I was like, "Oh, like I don't want to say anything now." And like I overthought in my head. I have this like habit of overthinking, and then it makes things worse. But like yeah. And so I guess that like came off for him. He took that as like me saying like people aren't doing their jobs, or like that she wasn't on top of things or something. When like for me, I was just letting her know like, "Yo, I didn't get to this. Like this still needs to be done. Like I didn't get to do it. We were super busy today, like the internet went out, whatever." I don't know. I just feel so bad socially in some ways and then so good in others. Like I don't get it. Like I don't understand small talk or like boundaries, like as far as like I like one of the things is I talk too much, I'm too open. And like on the internet, that gets me rewarded, right? People are like, "Oh, you're so real, like everyone on the internet is so fake, blah blah blah. Like you're so honest." And that's like a good thing, right? And like some people look down on it, but like overall, it's mostly appreciated, right? But then in person, that doesn't go over as well because there's not as much time, or like okay, if there's an understanding, you can't just sit in a Twitter thread and like talk, like or whatever. Like you're not just sitting in a Discord call all day around the same people all the time. Like for some people, like if there's a misunderstanding, there's no resolution to that because when is that going to get brought up? Like when is that, for me, I don't care. Like if we are both struggling with something, like I want to talk that through, bro. Like let's learn, like let's get through it. But other people, that's not how they function. And I don't know how to function at a job with this. And like everyone's telling me like, "Yo, like you just got to start caring less." And I'm like, "How does that make sense?" And that's basically what this book is about. That's why I found this book. Dude, funny story actually, honest to God. Um a pro player sent me, like I had made a tweet about it. They DM'd me. And they're like, "Yo, watch this YouTube video. This might help you." And it was from this dude. And in the YouTube video, he recommends this book. And I went, like, I was watching the whole video and I was like, "Oh my God, this video is so good." And like, it's helping so much, right? And then like halfway through, he goes, "Yeah, my book." And I'm like, I literally have that on my bookshelf. It's been on my to read list. Like, I read like 4 pages of it and gave up on it like 5 years ago, dude. Like, someone gave, I think, or, well, I think someone either gave me this or I think I got it at a book, like a yard sale. I think I got it at a yard sale or something while I was with my ex. And then I just never read it. It just sat in my bookshelf. But I'm so glad that I had it now. I'm going on a tangent. This is also part of the problem. I mean, like, to me, again, I don't have a problem with it entirely because I like talking about stuff like this. Like I like sharing this. Like this is interesting to me, so I like talking about it. This is my YouTube channel. I should be able to talk about what I want to talk about, right? But then the impact, the problem with going off of that is that now we veered away from the point. Some people have probably clicked off of the video. They're not interested anymore. They don't understand the point. Like they get confused, and why would they want to watch something that they're confused by, right? Like the whole point of like watching a YouTube video is to follow a storyline or to learn something or, you know, whatever. Like there's a resolution, there's a clear resolution. They can follow the path maybe. And if they can't, it's something that's interesting enough to them that they're willing to be confused by it, right? Like it's enticing, they're curious. And my tangents a lot of the times don't incite curiosity in people. It's just me talking about things. Like it's, you know, boring or doesn't hold like a personal relation to them. It doesn't tie to the overarching theme, which I guess I did a pretty good job of bringing that back to the point and tying it to the overarching theme. So that's pretty cool. One of the things too with this and with the like overall problem, right, is like I get the anxiety, I put myself down, I have that negative reaction. And then like everyone that I've talked to about this in the past few days, but especially like last night and today, because like this was an issue that has come to a fat culmination right now, is that they're really surprised by how mean I am to myself. And like hearing that is so surprising. Like I think back to my first coaching session with Snoopy for Apex. And he literally told me, he was like, "You're so brutal." Like I literally, wow, I'm gonna cry. I could go back in the VOD, I still have the video. He had me do like TDMs or something. And I was so ashamed at how bad I am at the game that I literally, after every time, like I would like try and get a kill, like I would die, whatever. Like I was shaking during our first coaching session. I would put myself down. I'd be like, wow, I'm so stupid, or like, oh, I should have done this, blah, blah, blah. And like his whole coaching, luckily, like I learned from him, like doing the shoulds and the like, oh, blah, 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 doesn't really help, you know, what actually happened. What actually happened, right? Like, what is the issue? Oh, you did something that like what is the impact, right? And so I started being able to objectively, with less shame, maybe not even objectively, but like that I could be more honest about the parts of me that sucked without being angry at them sucking, right? Like it was normal that I was bad at something. Like it's okay, it's human to be bad at things. And so at work, I was doing really good at that, like the first couple days. And I don't remember what it was that happened. I think I just, because I had, like I was trying to, I mean, it's a pattern that I have, right? And so if I'm not paying attention to it, then I might fall back into old habits, into the comfort of like what's familiar instead of breaking the habit. And like I noticed it in the moment. I was like, oh, I'm getting really overwhelmed. I'm starting to get more anxious. I'm starting to feel a lot less confident. Things are starting to feel blurrier. And I was also on less sleep because I was overworking myself and taking on, you know, and it's like this whole system that you can map out of like problems, right? Like, oh, like I take on too much at once because I want to be perfect. You know, like I want to achieve great things. I think that I should be doing so much, blah, blah, blah. And then chewing, like biting more than I can chew, bites me in the foot because then I'm overwhelmed and then I'm frustrated at myself for not being able to handle these impossible expectations. Instead of just being honest with myself about my limitations, which is like, you can't do everything at once and you're going to suck at some things sometimes, and the impact is still going to happen. Like you acknowledging that you suck at this thing isn't suddenly going to make the thing that sucks suck less, right? Like admitting it is the first step into it potentially changing, yes, but like there's no guarantee. Like the parts that come after is the part that actually heals it, but you can never get to those parts that come after of you learning to change without you admitting that the thing sucks in the first place. So like I'm glad I got fired because it's like, hey, big slam impact. Like, here is like a very obvious pain of you being terrible at relating to humans in this way. And it sucks because I do think that there's a lot of stuff that I am good at when it comes to people. But this is just definitely not one of them. And oh, yeah, it's just gonna take some time to learn. I guess I might post some more about it. Maybe not. But at the very least, I just felt like I wanted to share this part, like the struggle, like admitting that I'm struggling. Like, if I need to go back on this and look at it and see what I talked about to understand it better, maybe I can. Like, I'm going into this like having confusion. Like, this is like a documentary. Not literally, but I don't know. Uh it is what it is. I'm gonna keep reading this book. Maybe I'll keep you guys updated. Let me know in the comments if anyone else struggles with this, with the like going to work and not feeling like you understand, like feeling like the world you live in internally is completely different from the external world. Like the impact that other people have from what you're, I don't know, I just feel like there's so many layers, like it doesn't match. And like that's okay, but it also doesn't feel okay. Like it also hurts that it doesn't. But I don't know. A lot of it's really blurry right now. I'm still learning. I'm like teeter tottering on like a fat breakthrough, maybe kind of. Like I feel like I'm like starting to sort of get less blurriness with certain parts of it, but I'm also really confused. And I feel guilty about admitting that I'm confused a little bit, but I know that feeling guilty about it is counterproductive and is just another wall in the way of me just understanding. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, you just gotta learn it. Take the time to learn it. But I don't know where to start. So this is where we're starting. We're starting here, and hopefully stuff starts to change. Share whatever you'd like with me in the comments about your lack of experience with this, your experience with this, your confusion by this, whatever you'd like. I need help. Goodbye.